What is up? What is up, you guys? I wanted to come to you guys today with this Monday Night Raw review from last night. I was going to put up this review last night, but I decided against it. So I'm putting the review up this morning so you guys can get the recap of what happened last night on Monday Night Raw. So let's jump right into the show. We have AJ Styles versus Sheamus in a pretty competitive one-on-one men's match last night on Monday Night Raw. This match was very, very competitive between AJ Styles and Sheamus last night on Monday Night Raw. This was a pretty competitive match between these two guys. I thought the match was pretty decent to be a one-on-one match between AJ Styles and Sheamus. I thought this match was pretty decent. I enjoyed it. I thought it was a pretty good match, man. I thought these two had a pretty good match for what they had to work with last night. To start off Monday Night Raw, I thought these men put on a pretty competitive one-on-one match last night on Monday Night Raw with Sheamus versus AJ Styles. This was a pretty decent one-on-one men's match last night to start off the show in a really competitive match. The match was competitive. It was a decent match. It was a decent men's match. It wasn't the best men's match by no means last night on Monday Night Raw, but it was a competitive match to start off Monday Night Raw last night with Sheamus versus AJ Styles. This match was very competitive. It was a very competitive match. It was a really decent match between AJ Styles and Sheamus last night on Monday Night Raw. I thought this match was fairly decent. I enjoyed it for what it was. It wasn't the best match by no means, but it was a fairly decent match last night between AJ Styles and Sheamus to start off Monday Night Raw last night. I thought this match was fairly decent. It was a decent match to start off the show last night from Monday Night Raw between Sheamus and AJ Styles. I thought this match was fairly decent. I thought it was alright. It was alright. I mean, I enjoyed it for what it was to be a one-on-one men's match last night on Monday Night Raw, and AJ Styles ended up hitting the phenomenal forearm on Sheamus for the win last night on Monday Night Raw. And then we had a six-man tag team match with Jeff Hardy, Kofi Kingston, and Xavier Woods versus Bobby Lashley, Cedric Alexander, and Shelton Benjamin. This was a pretty decent six-man tag team match last night on Monday Night Raw. I thought this match was decent. I didn't really think much of it. It was just a decent six-man tag team match last night on Monday Night Raw with Jeff Hardy and Kofi Kingston and Xavier Woods versus Bobby Lashley, Cedric Alexander, and Shelton Benjamin last night on Monday Night Raw. I thought this match was pretty. I thought it was a pretty decent six-man tag match last night on Monday Night Raw. I don't really like six-man tag team matches. I'm just gonna be honest. I don't really get the gist of a six-man tag team match. I really don't get the gist of it when these teams have nothing to fight for. They're not feuding over anything. They're just feuding to be feuding for whatever reason. So I don't really understand that. But so if this was a pretty decent six-man tag last night on Monday Night Raw with Jeff Hardy, Kofi Kingston, and Xavier Woods versus Bobby Lashley, Cedric Alexander, and Shelton Benjamin last night on Monday Night Raw. I thought this match was fairly decent to be a six-man tag team match last night on Monday Night Raw. And the team of Shelton Benjamin, Lashley, and Cedric Alexander ended up picking up the win over Jeff Hardy, Kofi Kingston, and Xavier Woods last night on Monday Night Raw in a pretty decent to okay six-man tag team match last night on Monday Night Raw. And then we had Lana versus Nia Jax. Lana ends up going over on Nia Jax. Um, yeah, yeah. Lana ended up going over on Nia Jax by DQ. Lana picked up the win over Nia Jax by DQ, so there you go. And then we had Dana Brooke versus Shayna Baszler. Dana Brooke ended up going over on Shayna Baszler by DQ. So there you go. There wasn't much to this match. Dana Brooke picked up the win over Shayna Baszler by DQ. And then we had MVP versus Matt Riddle. Matt Riddle beats MVP within less than a second. Matt Riddle picks up the win over MVP in a less than a second on Monday Night Raw last night. So Matt Riddle picked up the win over Matt Riddle picked up the win over MVP last night on Monday Night Raw in less than a second. And then we had Miz and Morrison versus Keith Lee in a 2-on-1 handicap match last night on Monday Night Raw. Keith Lee gets buried by Miz and Morrison. Keith Lee gets buried. I didn't care for this because now we know Keith Lee is limited. We all know this. Keith Lee gets buried last night on Monday Night Raw by John Morrison and The Miz. So there you go. I don't really care. Keith Lee is nothing like he was down in NXT. You bury Keith Lee, so there you go. Keith Lee gets buried by Morrison and The Miz in a 2-on-1 handicap match last night on Monday Night Raw. And then we had Randy Orton. We had Randy Orton come out and he told Bray Wyatt let's play a game. So Randy Orton invited Bray Wyatt to play a game of hide and seek last night on Monday Night Raw. What am I, 3 years old, going back to playing hide and seek when I was growing up, we used to play hide and seek in the front yard. So what am I, 3 years old? Am I 3 years old again? Now people are playing hide and seek on Monday Night Raw. Is this what we're doing on Monday Night Raw? We have Bray Wyatt and Randy Orton playing hide and seek. Is this what we're doing? I mean, is this what Vince finds funny? I don't find this to be funny at all. I find it to be rather insulting. You have Bray Wyatt and Randy Orton playing hide and seek last night on Monday Night Raw, which I didn't find funny at all. This is quite insulting. This was insulting to me. I didn't care for it. I didn't like it. I'm sorry if you found interest in it. I didn't. I mean, you have Bray Wyatt and Randy Orton, two WWE superstars, playing hide and seek last night on Monday Night Raw backstage. Last night on Monday Night Raw, you had Randy Orton and Bray Wyatt playing hide and seek, ladies and gentlemen. Yes, you heard me right. Bray Wyatt, Randy Orton were playing hide and seek last night on Monday Night Raw. And then Bray Wyatt ends up going into a room. Randy Orton attacks Bray Wyatt from behind with a couple of punches. Bray Wyatt and Randy Orton get into a brawl. And then Randy Orton ends up putting Bray Wyatt into this trunk like casket last night on Monday Night Raw. And there was a gasoline can sitting right there in this area, whatever they want to call it, backstage last night when Randy Orton and Bray Wyatt got into this brawl, and Randy Orton put Bray Wyatt into this trunk casket kind of thing last night on Monday Night Raw. So there's a gasoline can, and Randy Orton goes over. He looks at the gasoline can that's sitting right there just for whatever odd reason. There was a gasoline can sitting right there, and Randy Orton stares at the gasoline can. Randy Orton walks over, grabs the gasoline, soaks this trunk kind of casket thing in. Randy Orton soaks this trunk casket thing with gasoline, and then Randy Orton lights a match and lights this trunk casket kind of thing on fire with Bray Wyatt inside it last night on Monday Night Raw. So Bray Wyatt is in this trunk kind of casket thing last night on Monday Night Raw, and then Randy Orton sets it on fire the kind of way the Undertaker used to do. I guess this was a kind of a homage to the Undertaker, I guess, in a way. I guess that's what they were kind of shooting for, I guess. So Randy Orton sets this trunk that Bray Wyatt is in, this trunk kind of casket thing. Randy Orton sets it on fire while Bray Wyatt is inside this trunk slash casket thing. So Bray Wyatt is inside this casket slash trunk. Bray Wyatt and Randy Orton sets the trunk on fire with Bray Wyatt inside of it, and then all of a sudden the Fiend pops out from the fired trunk slash casket thing. The Fiend pops out from the trunk slash casket thing last night on Monday Night Raw while it was on fire. So the casket slash trunk thing was on fire. The Fiend pops out and attacks Randy Orton and puts the mandible claw on Monday Night Raw to close the show. So that was pretty much your Monday Night Raw last night. Randy Orton set Bray Wyatt on fire inside of a trunk slash casket thing last night on Monday Night Raw, which I thought was pretty cool, but Bray Wyatt kind of no-sold it, which kind of ruined it for me. You had Bray Wyatt no-sell the casket slash trunk thing being set on fire by Randy Orton. Bray Wyatt kind of no-sold it, which kind of killed it for me, which I didn't like, because Bray Wyatt completely no-sold it. I mean, he absolutely no-sold this. And while this casket slash trunk is burning and is on fire, the Fiend pops out of the burning trunk casket thing. The Fiend pops out, puts the mandible claw on Randy Orton to close the show, and that's how Monday Night Raw goes off the air. I mean, this would have been a pretty cool segment if Bray Wyatt wouldn't have no-sold Randy Orton setting the trunk slash casket thing on fire with him in it last night on Monday Night Raw. Bray Wyatt completely no-sold it, which ruined the segment for me. I thought Bray Wyatt completely ruined that segment. He completely no-sold that casket slash trunk thing being set on fire with him inside it last night on Monday Night Raw. Bray Wyatt completely no-sold that segment, which I didn't like. I didn't like how he did. I don't like how he completely no-sold the trunk slash casket being set on fire with him inside it last night on Monday Night Raw by Randy Orton. Bray Wyatt completely no-sold this and killed the entire segment. Bray Wyatt's no-sells this trunk slash casket thing that was being set on fire by Randy Orton last night on Monday Night Raw with him inside it. Bray Wyatt completely no-sold it, and that's how Monday Night Raw ends up going off the air. So Bray Wyatt no-sells a casket on fire. I guess they were paying homage to The Undertaker because The Undertaker used to do this all the time. So I guess they wanted to do a spot for The Undertaker, which I thought was kind of cool in a way. But Bray Wyatt ruined the segment by no-selling that trunk slash. Bray Wyatt no-sold the segment by no-selling that trunk slash casket thing being set on fire by Randy Orton with him inside it last night on Monday Night Raw. So overall, I mean, this show really didn't do much, and I mean, we had the Ascension ceremony last night for Drew McIntyre and AJ Styles for their match at TLC this coming Sunday night on the WWE Network. Miz and Morrison beat down Drew McIntyre, and then AJ Styles ends up putting Drew McIntyre through a table to end that segment. So while Drew McIntyre is putting his belt on this thing to be hung in the air in this Ascension Championship ceremony last night on Monday Night Raw with AJ Styles, Drew McIntyre gets jumped by AJ Styles, The Miz, and John Morrison. The Miz and John Morrison, AJ Styles beat down Drew McIntyre, and AJ Styles ends up putting Drew McIntyre through a table to end that segment. So, overall, this show was a 0 out of 10 for me. I didn't really like the no selling of Bray Wyatt and the casket / trunk thing being set on fire by Randy Orton with him inside it last night on Monday Night Raw. I thought that killed that segment. Bray Wyatt just completely, absolutely no-sold that trunk / casket thing being set on fire by Randy Orton with him inside it last night on Monday Night Raw. So overall, this has been your Monday Night Raw review. I hope you guys enjoyed it. This show fell flat. This show was not enjoyable at all. This was the go home show for TLC this coming Sunday night on the WWE Network. So this is the Monday Night Raw go home show for TLC this coming Sunday night on the WWE Network. So overall, this show gets a 0 out of 10 from me. This show completely missed. This show fell flat. This show just didn't do anything for me. This show absolutely made no sense. So there you go. This show completely missed overall. This show didn't make any sense to me. So I'm going to give Monday Night Raw a 0 out of 10. That is my rating for Monday Night Raw. If you guys like this Monday Night Raw review, hit that thumbs up. Guys, make sure you like, share, comment, subscribe, and select that bell for all the notifications. And thank you guys for watching this Monday Night Raw review. I hope you guys enjoyed it as much as I enjoyed bringing it to you guys. And I will see you guys back here tonight for the Impact Wrestling review. Until then, I love you guys. You guys have a good one. And I'll see you guys back here later tonight for the Impact Wrestling review. You guys have a good day, man. Your boy's out. Peace.